Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Center Grove Sports Show here at Campbell's Highland Grove. Kevin Conrad, your host. Tonight we are spotlighting the Center Grove High School boys tennis team. And here in our opening segment, the head coach of the Trojans, Ivan Smith, joins us. And Coach, let's reflect back on what was just another really good year for your program. Get our fans all caught up on what Center Grove Trojans did this year in tennis.
Well, we had another winning season. That's always a good place to start. And we won an invitational tournament at Jasper. We won the county tourney. We won the sectional, the regional, and then we were finally defeated in the semi-state.
So, Coach, you look back on this year. I know you had high expectations, but, boy, this team really achieved a lot. Some might say overachieved when you look at what you had returning as far as experience. So I think you had to feel really good about what you accomplished this year with the team.
Well, I feel good how we wound up. I really, honestly, I don't know what my expectations were. Some days the glass was half full and sometimes it was half empty. But I had a feeling that we could be better than what some people would think. I felt like that the kids as a whole probably played more over the summer than any groups we had in recent times. And we did have a reserve team that only lost one match. So I was hoping somewhere among that group we would find some people that could fill some varsity positions. And, I don't know how successful we would be, but I was hoping that the guys coming up from the reserve team would be able to do the job.
Coach, maybe a word or two about your lone senior this year, Mason Runkle. Obviously playing number one singles, very, very difficult thing to do in high school tennis, but I felt like as far as a leadership standpoint and what he meant to your team, he was a very, very important young man and a great young man.
He was outstanding. I think if Mason had his ruthers, he rather would have been a doubles player, but he knew that he would probably be the person that probably would be asked to play number one singles, and he worked as hard as he could. He trained, he played a lot of tournaments, and then when he got into the season, it's really hard to be successful with our schedule if you aren't a top flight player yourself. And he was a good player, but he probably didn't have as much success as what the rest of the guys on the team. But I feel like despite all of that, towards the end of the season, he was really playing as well as he played all year, despite some of the rough sledding he had. And I think I counted up that on our schedule, 14 of the players he played made all district. And then about half of those were all-state players themselves. So he did just fine.
So, Coach, you're now in the off season. I know the guys have already started hitting Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays. They do a lot of work on their own. What is it that you want to see? What kind of progress do you want to see from your players, and in what areas do you want them to see making progress?
Well, I think as a whole, I think the team needs to be a little bit more aggressive in their thinking, more aggressive in how they play their points. I think this year, a lot of times we were the team that just tried to hit one more ball back in. And I think in order for us to move to the next level, I think we need to learn how to force other players into hitting shorter balls or balls that we can step in on and maybe hit a big shot ourselves. And in doubles, we really didn't play doubles the way that we're accustomed to coaching doubles, but that was just kind of what our makeup was. But I really want to be this next year have two doubles teams that are constantly coming in and trying to win points at the net. And so we had to exit conferences. I spoke individually with every player, and that was a point I emphasized, is that I told them that we really wanted to be more aggressive next year, and I was going to play players that were aggressive. And to the younger players, I said, if there's anything you can do to get yourself a place in the lineup, you need to be the aggressive guy and work on those specific double skills. So we want to upgrade our level of play.
Let's say, Ivan, you play the best in the state of Indiana. You'll go to Jasper, and Jasper will come here. You play a great schedule. Maybe talk about the landscape of tennis right now. We just saw Carmel win the state championship again this year. Homestead's been very, very good. North Central's been very, very good. But maybe just talk about what it does. What's it going to take, like you talked about, for Center Grove to go from here and to get to that next level?
Well, one of the things I've always believed that if you're going to be a team that is able to compete for a state championship, you got to have players on your team not in the lineup that could probably play for 90 to 95% of the other teams in the state. And, that's not what a lot of people want to hear, but that's the reality. That's how good these very best teams are that are able to compete.
Next year, Coach, though, you do return a lot of guys. Obviously, you're losing one in Mason Runkle, a very good one. But going all the way to the semi-state this year, one match away from getting to the Elite Eight like you did a year ago. But maybe give us a quick little preview. I know it takes a lot of hard work here in the off-season, but maybe a preview of next season.
Well, I don't know if I'd be a very good coach if I really knew what was going to happen and who was going to do it. I think the message I'll probably emphasize with the players is that if you were a starter, that was a position that you earned, and you're going to have to earn it again next year. I think the competition will be that way, and we can be a little bit more selective in who we pick for the starting lineup and so forth. But I think the competition should be fierce.
Well, Ivan, I appreciate you coming out tonight to be on our show. Great season. All the best with the off season, and good luck next year.
Thank you.
All right. We'll have more of the show after this timeout.
Welcome to Campbell's Highland Grill.
Campbell's Highland Grill, a family-owned Scottish-American sports grill in Greenwood. Dig into appetizing American food that you'll love, as well as traditional Scottish fare. Family-friendly and great specials, too. Kids eat free on Tuesdays. Enjoy our tasty breakfast on the weekend, and free Sundays on Sunday.
The best thing to eat on the menu is the Berkeley Turkey Club. No way, the best thing on the menu is Bourbon BLT.
Campbell's Highland Grill in Greenwood.
Don't forget to top it off with Bellamy's bread pudding. Mmm.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Center Grove Sports Show here at Campbell's Highland Grill. Kevin Conrad, your host. And now join us, we have some of the varsity members of the Center Grove boys tennis team, and the lone senior now joins us, Mason Runkle. Mason, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Mason, it's all done. Let's reflect back, though. What a great career, what a great run, not only this past season, but just reflect back on your 4 years here at Center Grove.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be some of the most fun 4 years of my life. I'll definitely never forget my experiences and everything we accomplished, and just being able to make it to state is definitely just one of the biggest accomplishments that I've had in my high school career, and it's just been some of the most fun I've ever had.
So 4 years. Did you play 3 years varsity out of those four? Is that correct? Or did you play a little bit your freshman year?
I played varsity all 4 years. I started out 2 doubles my freshman year, 2 doubles my sophomore year, and then my junior year I played 3 singles, and then senior year I got 1 singles.
So I think over the course of that career, a semi-state championship, maybe a couple of regionals, and maybe 2 to 3 counties?
Yeah, we got county, I think, 3 years. We got sectional 3 years, regional 3 years, semi-state 1, and yeah.
And this year, so close. You get the sectional, of course, and the regional. Let's go to that regional real quick. Perry Meridian, I think Center Grove victorious 4-1. But what a great accomplishment for the Trojans to win that regional this year.
Yeah, that regional is just a big confidence booster for us. It kind of showed what all of our hard work and that we put in all season kind of led to. And they just prepared us really well for the tournament all season, and that kind of really showed how well that we executed all of that work.
Also, Mason, being a senior, you never know when your last match is going to be. Unfortunately, it was in the semi-state against Zionsville, but I thought it was one of your best matches you played of the year.
Right. You really never know what match is going to be your last, so you just got to go out there playing without any fear or without just playing to win and not afraid to lose.
Well, what's next up for Mason Runkle once you graduate from Center Grove here this spring?
I'm planning to go to IU most likely. I'm not sure what I'm going to study yet, but we'll see.
any tennis in the future?
I don't believe so.
All right.
Maybe just I'll hit with my brother a lot when I see him there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mason, great career. Thank you for being on our show, and all the best to you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Mason Runkle, lone senior for the Trojans. Next up, we have the number 2 singles player, Luke Embry, a junior. And Luke, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kevin.
Luke, great senior or junior year for you. Tell us about some highlights for you this year.
I had a few good matches, especially towards the end of the year, where I think I really started to have some of my better matches, and I started to pick up the pace of my game a little bit.
Obviously, the biggest win maybe of the year was the sectional championship over the Whiteland Warriors. You were the deciding point.
Yeah, that was obviously a huge match because I was able to close it for the team and over a guy that had beat me earlier in the year and had some rivalry there.
How great was it to be able to play with Mason the last 3 years?
It's been great because he's such a great leader, and he's always encouraging to everyone and leading by example. And just like I said, he's an amazing leader.
Now you go to the off season. I guess work is already underway. Tell me what you're working on.
Similar to last year, I'm just grinding, playing as much as possible, and doing tournaments, doing practices, and just working on every aspect of my game that I can.
Do you do a little work, I assume, inside when the weather gets bad outside? Where do you go to work inside?
Yeah, we go to the UND bubble up north.
Give me a little preview of next year. You got a lot of guys returning next year.
Yeah, we got every returning varsity player and some good lower classmen that we think can definitely make our team a good contender for next year.
I think you guys can make another run here at the state finals. I know you did that 2 years ago and one match away from doing that again this year. But I think what you experienced this year is only going to help you guys for next year.
Yeah, I agree. The experience factor will definitely play a big role in how we handle those pressure situations.
Luke, thanks for being on the show. Good luck here in the off season. Good luck next year.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much. And now joining us on the show, we've got Landon Finlinson, who's a junior, played one doubles this year. Landon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, tell me about your season. Boy, you guys accomplished a lot this year, and I think the expectations, you guys probably had high expectations, but maybe from the outside looking in, not many thought you were going to get back to the semi-state round, and you guys did.
Yeah, we definitely, going into season, I remember telling our assistant coach, Coach Beasley, that I was like, if we make it to state championships, are we going to get a police escort? And it was really a long shot until we got to semi-state, and we were playing well. And, it definitely gave the team some morale to see what we've done this year and what we can do next year.
Maybe talk about the turning point with this year's team. It might have been in that first match. You guys beat Park Tudor 3-2, and I think a lot of people were surprised by that.
Well, Park Tudor's the good first match because it definitely judges us against a north side team who's always been good. And when we beat them 3-2, it was a really close match. And I feel like it kind of just gave us a boost for what we were going to do this season. And it definitely just improved the play that we did over the season.
When you reflect back on your season, what stands out for you? What area of your game did you improve the most, and what do you want to keep working on as you go here now into the off season?
Well, playing singles, I had just to stand back at the baseline and hit balls, but playing doubles through the season, I definitely improved on my serve and volley and my volley, and I'm hoping to improve, just keep improving on what Ivan started for us is the serve and volley and all of the old doubles techniques.
Now that you go in the off season, do you try to work yourself into a single situation next year or continue to play doubles, or just kind of, hey, wherever coach wants me to play?
Yeah, well, I definitely like singles, and I've grown to like doubles, but if it's wherever coach needs me, I'll play, and whatever benefits the team.
Talk about your partners this year. I think you had a couple of different partners this year, which is very important with doubles.
Yeah, I had 3 different partners. I played with Carson Contos for about 40%. I played with senior Mason Runkle during MIC, and then I played with Logan James against Bloomington North, and from there on. And it was definitely a ride of different players adapting, but I think the team chemistry really helped us on doubles and how it just flowed through.
Well, Landon, thanks for being on the show. Great junior season. All the best next year.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And next up, we'll bring up another junior, and Carson Contos played one doubles. Carson, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell me about your season. A lot of ups this year for the Center Grove Trojans. Really, overall, just a great season.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this year, a lot of people thought we were going to have more of a rebuilding year, and we came out way stronger and exceeded a lot of expectations people had.
Why was that? Why do you think you guys were able to surprise so many people?
I feel like because of what the seniors that had left, what they had built for us and the values that they put in us of all the hard work, we just kept that going in the off season and exceeded expectations, like I said before. Yeah,
it is a lot of hard work. A lot of that hard work is done in the off season. I know a lot of you guys are already out hitting here in the off season. Talk about what you try to work on and improve upon during the off season.
In the off season, we work so much just to improve our all-around game, especially even when it gets cold and wet outside. We go indoors and go all the way to UIndy just to get hitting in.
Well, what do you need to work on now that you're heading into your senior year?
This year, or in the off season for next year, I feel like the main thing I need to work on is just my net play, because during the ending part of the season, I felt like my ground stroke game and my closing ability really improved throughout the year, but my net play fell off a little bit at the end. So I feel like I need to improve that just to bring us to the next level next year.
And maybe give us a quick preview next year, losing Mason Runkle. Great senior, great leader, but only losing one. Looks pretty good for next year for the Trojan tennis team.
Yeah, I feel like next year we'll be able to just build on what we started this year. And like you said, only losing one senior, we'll just be able to continue to get even better and make it even further in the tournaments.
Well, Carson, thanks for being on the show. All the best with your offseason and next year.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. And next up, we have our final guest, and Glenn Swaney. Welcome to the show, Glenn.
Thank you.
Well, tell me about your season. What year are you? A sophomore this year? Is that right? Or
I'm
junior? You're a junior, so tell me about your junior year, Glenn.
Well, it was my first time playing on varsity. I certainly growed a lot, especially in my doubles game. I didn't come in expecting to be a doubles player, so it was definitely a different experience, but I grew a lot in doubles itself.
So your net play has got to get better. You got to kick out that serve. There's a lot of things to double and a lot of strategy. Tell me about your partners, who you played with this year, and how you guys kind of grew together as the season went along.
Well, this year I played with Ryan and Carson, and I played with Carson the very first match against Park Tudor, and then on until postseason I played with Ryan. And playing with Ryan was a really good experience because he's a tall, lengthy guy, and I had to learn how to play with him. And he came into the net a lot and was a lot more aggressive than I was. And playing with Contos, there was just a lot of fire. There was a lot of intensity in our gameplay, so it was really good.
Maybe talk about your experience playing in the state tournament. You're sectional champs, regional champs. You got a chance to taste the semi-state. You're playing some of the very best teams in the state of Indiana. Just maybe talk about what you learned and how that experience was so invaluable for you for next year.
Well, playing in those was obviously really competitive, and I learned a lot about how to handle pressure, a lot about how to play good teams, how to adjust especially, which is something that Coach was on us about, and I grew through that, becoming a better player, even if my play was worse. So.
Now that you're in the off season, what is it that you want to kind of focus on right now?
I'll probably focus on being able to come in, being able to hit good volleys, and being able to hit a lot better serves. I'm trying to get a lot more momentum.
Well, Glenn, thanks for being on the show with us tonight. Great season. All the best with your off season and next year.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's going to wrap up our show from Campbell's Highland Grill. Until next time, this is Kevin Conrad saying so long, everyone.